Hello and welcome to the TMZ podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton.
I'm Charlie Neff.
And today we're talking about the dueling rallies that both major parties had over the weekend. One featured Beyonce.
Yep.
The other featured Tony Hinchliffe.
The comedian.
The comedian who gave a pretty racist joke. And today, people are coming
up in arms.
Coming for Tony, coming for Trump. We'll talk about some of that reaction. Matthew Perry, it's the year anniversary of his death today. And his family are speaking out about the tragedy and, things that led up to the tragedy, very interestingly.
And his house, too, also sold.
Yes, it did too. And finally, we'll talk about two celebrities who gate crashed parties this weekend. For to unsuspecting fans, these celebrities came and there was pandemonium. It was fantastic. To begin with, though, Tony Hinchliffe. He's a famous comedian, but he's more famous in the conservative circles. He has a famous podcast called Kill Tony.
Was he on the Tom Brady roast?
I'm not sure if he was on the Tom Brady roast, but he's in that same sort of circle of comedians.
Yeah.
He went to a Donald Trump rally at Madison Square Gardens on the weekend, and he told some pretty poor taste jokes. Let's have a listen to one of them now.
It is absolutely wild times. It really, really is. And, there's a lot going on. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right.
Woof.
So, not
a little cringe.
Not funny.
Even the audience was, not really embracing it very much.
Yeah, but it just didn't,
Didn't land.
It's racist and it's just not funny as well.
I'm okay personally with comedians saying edgy jokes.
Right.
I think that's okay in the comedian space. However, I think in the same vein, I think you could also criticize the joke, right? So I can totally see how people from Puerto Rico are upset about this. There's been a ton of, I think Ricky Martin posted something. He is fuming.
And Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
They have they got millions of followers between them. He shouldn't have come for the Puerto Ricans. Also, side by side, at the very same time, Kamala Harris is in Pennsylvania talking to Puerto Ricans and trying to woo them for their vote. And then you got someone standing at a Trump rally dissing and being racist towards Puerto Ricans. It wasn't a very good play, I don't think.
Yeah, but also you kind of know what you're going to get if you have a comedian up there. They're going to say some off-color jokes. That's the whole thing about being a comedian. I don't know any comedians that say jokes about a sweater, that's not going to play well. But
I could tell some jokes about your sweater today, actually.
Hey.
But I don't think a comedian like this would stand up at a Kamala Harris rally. So, we can have comedians come and stand up. But
I just feel like it is a weird fit in general for a political rally, though.
Yeah. But this is one of those things that this Tony Hinchliffe, this is going to be great for him in his career.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Will Trump really lose any votes? I don't know.
Yeah.
So
it won't be because of this.
It won't.
He's not running for president.
No, he's not. And Trump said all those terrible things in 2016 about Mexicans sending their rapists. And did that lose him any votes?
No.
Didn't seem to matter much. So on the other hand, Beyonce was the main appearance at Kamala Harris's rally over the weekend.
Yeah. She looked beautiful. Oh my gosh.
She looked
stunning.
Presidential. She just looked, she, honestly, I'd never seen her look so captivating for some reason.
Yeah.
And she had the crowd in the palm of her hand. It's interesting that the celebrities coming out on one side and celebrities coming out on the other side. Clearly, the Democrats have the bigger names. But at the end of the day, will it affect anything? Probably not.
Yeah.
Do you think it'd affect anything if Taylor Swift got on stage in Pennsylvania with Kamala?
I don't think celebrities have that big of a sway as people make it out to seem. I know it's very easy to be oh my gosh, Billie Eilish said this, Taylor Swift said this, or, whatever. But I don't really think at least you shouldn't look to your favorite celebrity to figure out who you're voting for.
People do though. I mean, but is it dumb?
Do they? I don't know anybody that's like, I'm voting for Kamala specifically because of Taylor. They might say I'm voting for Kamala because of women's reproductive rights, or, they have like reasons that hopefully are a little bit more powerful than a celebrity endorsement.
You'd hope so. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
By the way, really quick.
Yeah.
2 people came together with opposing political views this morning. Kid Rock and Eminem. Did you see that by chance?
Well, yeah, I did. It's interesting that those two were able to sort of like,
They were like chumming it up on Twitter over like a sports team. I couldn't tell you who.
Detroit, maybe?
I don't know, but they were both like, oh, if this can bring us together, like, great. I mean, I kind of like that.
I know having friends across the aisle is an increasingly rare thing.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes, but you should be friends with everybody.
You should be friends with everybody. I don't know if I want to be friends with everybody. All right, on to our next story. Matthew Perry, it's the year anniversary of his death today, and his family are speaking out. His mother, Suzanne, his stepfather, Keith Morrison from Dateline, with that voice. I didn't know that he was his stepfather.
Yep.
They went on, was it the Today Show? And Savannah Guthrie interviewed them. Let's have a bit of a listen to some of that interview now.
What do you think about the fact that there has been some accountability there?
I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled.
What I'm hoping, and I think the agencies that got involved in this are hoping, that people who have put themselves in the business of supplying people with the drugs that'll kill them, that they are now on notice. It doesn't matter what your professional credentials are, you're going down, baby.
So, yeah, they're obviously very angry, and upset with the people who supplied Matthew the drugs. And a lot of these people have already been charged in relation to his death. And now
the ketamine queen.
The ketamine queen. And now they're making it their mission to sort of like, stop future deaths happening the same way.
Totally. And I think that's kind of what a lot of families do when they feel like, a family member's life was lost wrongfully. You kind of dedicate your life to making sure this doesn't happen again, especially because you know the pain and you don't want any other family to go through the pain you went through.
So, I mean, his family talk about how in his final years, he was trying to sort of like rehabilitate himself, get sober. And then he had that big memoir and he toured for the memoir. And then when he was like, coming off the tour, he was on ketamine for his depression and anxiety. And everybody thought that this guy's doing okay. Like, this ketamine is being supplied by a doctor, but they didn't obviously know the amount he was taking. They always knew he was sort of like just a lonely, they described it, a lonely guy who has all of these, anxiety issues.
Yeah.
And drugs was how he dealt with that. But then for it to end up this way, for medical professionals to have a hand in it, obviously that's just like appalling and needs to come to an end.
Yeah. And it's crazy too, because today, like you mentioned, is the 1-year anniversary of his passing. And actually just over the weekend, it was announced that the house he died at, remember he passed away in the jacuzzi at the house, was actually sold. I think Matthew bought it in like 2020 for about $6 million. It sold for like a little over $8 million.
Yeah.
Which, gosh, if you're like buying that house, I just feel like there'd be like some bad juju there.
It's interesting what a markup it got since he bought it 4 years ago.
That's not uncommon. It's California. Everything is going up in price.
Do you think him dying in that house affected the price positively?
I don't think anyone's like, I have to have this house because of that. So I don't think so. I think the value is just up because everything in California is just higher since, he bought it in 2020.
Would it decrease the price though? Would it like keep the price down that you don't want to swim in that pool?
It's possible. I would just be like, I'm ripping the whole thing out, redoing it, putting a garden there or something. It's beautiful, great area. But, legally they do have to say like, oh, someone passed away here or whatever. And if it deters you, it deters you. But if not, then go for it.
All right. On to our next story, our final story. Charlie, tell me about 2 A-grade celebrities who gatecrashed parties this weekend.
Yes. So starting off with Timothee Chalamet. He's like A-list at this point.
He's like maybe like top 10 famous people.
Yeah. So over the weekend in New York City at Washington Square Park, there was a Timothee Chalamet lookalike contest. And the winner was to get $50.
Oh, $50 whole dollars?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Which, by the way, can't even get you like a soda pop these days.
You can't pay for the costume you bought to look like Timothee Chalamet.
But I guess you get bragging rights, right?
Yeah.
So, as you can imagine, all these guys showed up trying to look like Timothy and like Willy Wonka costumes and all this. And then the Timothee Chalamet showed up and just like shocked everybody. And there was a massive crowd there. For me, I saw the video. I'm like, are we sure this is Tim? It's so hard to tell if it's like a lookalike, or if it's like the real Timothy.
It looked less like him because he had this silly little mustache.
Yeah.
And he doesn't usually have a silly little mustache, so it looked like
it could
an
be,
impersonator.
yeah, totally. But it was in fact him. He took photos with everybody. And actually cops had to come and like bust up the whole lookalike.
Cops had to break up the Timothee Chalamet lookalike.
Apparently somebody was like arrested too.
Someone was arrested?
I'm dying if it was like somebody with like the Willy Wonka hat, like, mugshot kind of thing.
On the other hand, though.
On the other hand, Snoop Dogg.
I would prefer to be at this celebrity gate crash.
Snoop Dogg crashed a random party bus.
Oh my God.
Freaking love this. Did you ever take a party bus like as a kid?
Not as a kid, maybe as a
high schooler.
Maybe not as high school, maybe in my drinking days. You know what I mean? Like in my college days. Party buses like that.
Okay. Well, so he posted a video on X Saturday night saying he crashed a random party bus, hoping they enjoyed spending a minute with him before he continued on their married way. And all the reactions, like you could tell this wasn't a setup. It was like genuine, like shocked, like people being like WTF. And he even like lit up a
Yeah, it was fantastic.
He lit up a blunt.
He came on this bus and he had a speaker, his own speaker, playing his own music.
Yeah.
He lit up this blunt in front of these people who basically, they must have thought that they were really high because they're like, what is going on in front of my eyes? Snoop Dogg just dancing to his own music, and being high while they just sit around like scratching their heads. It might be like the best gate crash thing. Like if that happened to me, I would much prefer that than the Timothee Chalamet.
No way. I mean, both would be super cool.
Both would be
cool.
All right, let's read out a few of your comments you've been leaving while we've been doing this YouTube live. On the Tony Hinchliffe situation, a lot of people can't believe that they let him speak. David saying it's offensive.
Yeah.
Moises Rosado is not happy either, saying that, they should have let him speak at all. Tony would benefit if the jokes actually landed, but none of them did, says
Totally.
Kunji Club. And Darren N says, I'll be so happy when this election's over, and I'm not even American.
I can't wait for it to be over.
I agree. I mean, this is just like, we're in the final week.
Yeah.
It's 1 week, and it's just going to be wall to wall. It's going to be crazy, and God knows what happens after that.
Yeah.
Honestly, God knows
maybe
what happens.
civil unrest. I don't know.
Monkey Man says, how could someone sit in Matthew Perry's hot tub after that?
I wouldn't be able to do that. I would have to rip it up and like make it like, a lemon tree or like put something else there and just be done with the hot tub.
I like lemons, but man, that infinity pool hot tub.
The pool is beautiful. I would just get rid of the hot tub.
Or
move it to the other side.
Just move the hot tub?
Yeah. If you have like $8 million to buy the house, you've got some money to spare to like,
I think it's fine because the actual pool wasn't affected at all.
Right.
Obviously you'd replace it, a few things about it if there was any damage or I don't know, but I think it's fine. You got a beautiful house.
You would go in the hot tub?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It wasn't sort of like, if it was like a famous murder where gunmen came to and then there was this, maybe
like
not.
Like a Sharon Tate situation?
Yeah, exactly. But in this case, I'd sit in that hot tub.
Oof. Okay.
On the Snoop Dogg, Timothee Chalamet situation, David Zaldivar says $50 is not worth. It's not worth all that effort.
By the way, we have a Halloween costume contest here this week.
Okay.
The building, you can win $400 for your costume.
Oh, you're trying to win it, obviously.
I was, like me and some girls are dressing up as a Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, but I heard Devin Rawls' costume. You guys know Devin Rawl. He's on TMZ TV. He's going to win the 400. And you know what? I helped him with his costume, so I told him I better get like a finder's fee.
I can't remember. He even told me his costume. I can't remember what he said.
I can't spoil it.
He said it with like an eye roll that he didn't even think it was that good.
Oh, and then he told me on Friday he put it on. He could not stop laughing at himself.
Can you please not like dress up too? Like, you know how Halloween, like a lot of girls want to, I'm just going to dress up sexy.
I'm a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. What do you think that is?
Don't overdo it. You know, this is a workplace.
What? What do you mean?
I don't want you coming in. I know you, and I know what your like little Instagram plan will be.
It's gonna be the whole show.
You just have a little plan to do.
No, there's no little plan on Halloween.
The less we see,
this
the better.
Is my
you know what I mean?
Super Bowl.
I know.
Why are you trying to tear me down? This is my favorite day of the year. Why are you trying to stomp on me like a bug?
This is a workplace. Is all I'm saying. You know, you just take that.
Is my midriff offending you?
It doesn't offend me, but we're just trying to get stories. Okay, just do whatever. Do whatever. Wear whatever.
Are you dressing
The future
up?
is female.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, better. I like how you ended that.
Yes, I'm actually dressing as a female.
Oh. Okay.
Ray Gun, the Australian breakdancer.
Why are you spoiling it? Oh, I guess I spoiled me.
Yeah, I mean, even this spoiling thing.
I don't like
no one
secretive
cares.
costumes. I don't want to out other people's costumes, but I don't like it when people are like, "Oh, you'll see." I'm like, "Oh, no, we'll see."
Okay, what is Devin going as then?
I can't
You just
out
said it.
him. I can't out his costume because I can't.
It's going to be like Bigfoot or something lame like that.
I did his Bigfoot costume last year.
Well, there you go. Well, there you go.
You need costume ideas? Come to me.
Right. All right. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.